The first weekly call mission is here, and here's how to do it and complete all of the challenges. First, I'm just going to explain how to do the mission. That's not going to be like a too long segment because it's a pretty straightforward mission and most people are able to do it. The real issue comes with the challenges. You have to do a few different challenges and they all require you to find a certain number of different items, and finding those items can be really difficult. So what I did was I did the mission a few times and I recorded different locations that I saw, so hopefully this can help you know where to look. In order to do the weekly call missions, the first thing you have to do is to have completed the War Within and also have completed the Veilbreaker quests. After you do that, you can head to the Drifter camp on Earth, and that's where you can find Kahl in order to start the mission.
No grineer.
When you enter the mission, you're going to spawn a skull in a Narmer camp, and your goal is to hack the facility so you can disable the veils that are corrupting people. The mission has like 3 different stages. In the first stage, all you have to do is head from spawn, and then when you get up the stairs, you're going to find a console, and this console lets you control the cameras, and by controlling the cameras, you can find different like electronic devices to short circuit. The first thing you're going to do is short circuit the device that controls the laser door so you can get into the facility. After you get in there, there's going to be another console that controls a different set of cameras. You have to use that to disable one of the lasers in front of the giant door, and also destroy the laser door that's keeping you trapped in the room. There's also a third optional laser you can disable that leads to the room across from you. That room isn't relevant for the main mission, but a lot of the challenge objectives can spawn in it, so disabling it is good. In order to find all the devices that you need to destroy, you'll have to switch from camera to camera in order to get a different perspective. All you need to do is just hover over the camera you want to switch to, and the game is going to prompt you to switch to it. After you destroy all the devices, the laser door should be disabled and you can now exit the room. What you need to do now is to look around the map in order to find the other 3 locks to disable. In order to do this, all you need to do is find the consoles with the lightly colored waypoint, and you need to hack those consoles. After you hack one of the consoles, it's going to cause a platform to move, and that platform is going to expose the electronic that you need to destroy. Next, you need to head into the room with a darker colored waypoint, and from there you can access the camera system and use that to destroy the exposed electronic.
That's another down.
After you do this 2 more times, then all 4 locks are unlocked. And what you need to do now is to hack another marked console that's going to open the door for you. You need to do all this while trying to escape the gaze of the deacons, because if they see you, they're going to try their hardest to kill you. It's not a one-shot, but it still does a lot of damage. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, you're doing all of this while you only have a melee weapon.
Inside.
Now you need to head through the door and make your way upstairs in order to get to the control room. In the control room, there's going to be another console that you have to interact with, and when you do, it's going to bring up a puzzle that you have to solve. It's an image puzzle where you have to look around the room using the cameras in order to find the symbols that you need in order to reset the device so daughter can hack it. Each symbol that you need to find is going to have a wire coming from it, showing you the location where you'll find the symbol that you have to input. In order to make it easier for you, there's one in the hallway to the right from the main camera. There's one that's hidden behind the right lift from the main camera as well. There's one that's available when you switch to the lower camera, the 4th camera. And the last one you see by activating the drone, which is going to cause the screen below it to show the symbol that you need. After you do that, you can use the camera in order to reset the device, and the room behind you is going to open, and now you get a gun. You don't have to go around with your melee weapon anymore, which is really good. After you get the gun, daughter is going to tell you to go to a certain location in order to get a marker so that she can support you with an airstrike.
This facility's automatic.
After you pick up the airstrike and the game shows you how to use it, extraction is going to become available. The airstrike can kill deacons, and there's going to be a lot of them on your way to extraction. It's recommended not to fight the enemies on your way to extraction, since there's an unlimited number of them, so it's just better to run past them. When you get to extraction, the door is going to lock behind you, and you're going to have a boss fight that you have to do. It's a boss fight versus a raccoon spider from Orcalis. It wasn't that hard of a fight. There's like strategy that you can use, but what I did was I shot it, I threw a grenade, and then I used the airstrike, and I repeat, and it just died. And that's all that there was to the main sequence of the mission. Now let's get on to the challenges. There's 6 different challenges that are available. The first one is to complete it in under 15 minutes. The other one is don't die. My advice for that is don't die. And now we get to the challenges that require a bit more effort. I'm gonna go with what I think is the most straightforward one. You have to remove 5 veils using your Veilbreaker. In order to do this, you need to find the Narmer Solaris workers on the map. And what you need to do is go up to them and use your third ability, which like stuns them. After they're stunned, you can walk up to them and you'll have a prompt that will tell you to remove a veil. After you do that, you're gonna need to spam your melee button, which is gonna do like a little animation where you rip the veil off of them, and that's 1 out of 5. You just need to find 4 other ones and you're done. I've had the most success finding them by going down the stairs under the map. There were quite a few there, and when you get to the second part, there's also a few there. You should easily be able to get the 5 because I see a lot of them around the map. If you just keep looking, you should find them. The next 3 challenges requires you to find an item that's randomly scattered across the map, but since this is Warframe, there's no true randomness, so you could like know certain locations in order to check, and it's very likely that the item would appear at that location again. And this is especially true for the first challenge, which is to find the tags off of 5 dead grineer. There's a bunch of dead grineer bodies scattered throughout the map, but they're in set locations, and how the challenge works is it just rotates between a random 5 of those. So if you know the location of where like all 10 of them are, then you know where to check, and 5 of them are gonna be correct. I did this mission a couple of times, and I think I have the location of all of them, or almost all of them, and I'm gonna put them on screen now. In the room across from you when you're unlocking the first lock, where you also have to disable the laser, inside of that room there's another room, and inside of there's a dead body. And if you go down the stairs and go backwards, there's a ramp that has 2 long corridors next to it. On either side of those corridors there's a dead body. This one posed the most challenge to me because I didn't know it was there, so I would always finish the mission with 4 out of 5 and have no idea where the body was. This is a ramp that leads towards extraction, so if you want you can wait until the end of the mission to check it so that you don't waste as much time. There's like 3 of them that are really close together when you go down the stairs underground. There is one that's in a box, there's one that's under the stairs, and then if you head through the vents, then there's another one that's by the T-junction there. And then if you keep heading through the vents, you get to another stairs that's guarded by a deacon. If you can get past the deacon, the room behind him, there's also another body that's there. There's also a dead body that you can find under the stairs in the first part of the mission. It's the same stairs like where you would find the Somachord fragment. There's also a set of bodies that are really close together when you get to the second stage of the mission. After you go through the door, there's like a set of boxes, and if you go behind those boxes, there's a dead body there. And then surrounding the machine, there's also 3 different dead bodies. On the console with the pictures, there's 2 bodies on either side. And then by the lower camera, there's also another body that's laying right there.
Your fight is over.
The last location I found was right below where you get the airstrike marker. There's an elevator there. If you head down the elevator and go towards the window, there's a dead body that's laying right there. And those are all the ones that I found. There could be more, but I'm pretty sure I got all of them. The next challenge is to find 4 different confiscated K-drive parts, and I definitely didn't get all of them. This one is a little bit more random than the dead bodies. The biggest, and I mean the absolute biggest tip that I could give for this one is to turn up your visual effects intensity. I was running at 0% and I did like 5 missions and I saw none of them, but when I turned it up to 200%, there's like a bright blue glow that they exude, and that helped me find them a lot easier. Another thing that really helped is that they look like K-drive parts for the most part, so you might see a part that looks like a K-drive board or a K-drive jet. Some of the parts are really tiny. I'm not sure which part of the K-drive they're supposed to be, but those 2 parts that I just mentioned, they're very noticeable. The K-drive parts also happen to be in places where they kind of blend into the environment in a sense. So the K-drive board is going to be braced against something, and the jets are going to be on a table or in like a box or something. The smaller parts can be anywhere, like I found them on the floor a lot, but the other two parts, they're in places that make sense somewhat. I'm showing all the different locations that I found on screen, so if you want to get to the same location to check if it's there for you, just pause the video and just look at where I am on the minimap. And if you find a location that I didn't show, you can share it in the comments, because I'm sure I missed a few of them.
Tagging. One less.
The K-drive parts can sometimes spawn on the rails, so you need to climb the different boxes in order to get up to the rails in order to get it. There's two different locations that I found the easiest to do it, and I'm going to show them on screen right now. The first one, and the one that I recommend, is the one that's right next to the electrical field. It's near where you hack the first lock, and you can notice it because there's a sign that protrudes from the rails. You can jump up in the box in front of the sign, and then from there you're able to grab onto the sign. This one's better because it's right in front of where the K-drive part would be, so it's just overall faster. The second area is at the cargo box behind the electrical field. For this one, you'll need to jump up to the vehicle, and from the top of the vehicle you can jump to the cargo box and then get access to the rails. This one works as well, but you have to run a little bit more to get to the K-drive part. This one's however better for getting the Somachord fragment, since it puts you close to the platform, so you can just jump off of it and run and pick up the fragment. And the final, and either the hardest or the easiest challenge, is to find Chipper's Toolbox. The good part about this is Chipper's Toolbox looks exactly like the Solaris Toolbox decoration, so that makes it easy to know what you're looking for. That's also funnily a bad part about it, because it looks like a corpus item. It's very easy for it to blend into the background, so sometimes you can just pass it without knowing it. It doesn't have a bright blue glow like the K-drive parts, or it isn't marked in your minimap like how the grineer bodies are, so sometimes it's just really hard to know where it is. I have 4 different locations that I found it at, and honestly, if you don't see it in one of these 4 locations, I would just restart the mission, because I've done this a few times and I rarely find it. So if it's not in one of these 4, it's just best to start over. The first place I found it was in the room across from where you hacked the first lock. If you go in there, in the same room where the dead grineer body is, the toolbox also has a chance to spawn there. The next place I found it is under the stairs across from the dead grineer body. This is probably the easiest one to notice because the background is so dark, so it should be easier to spot it if it's here. The next place I found it is by the stairs all the way at the end of the map. In the room that's guarded by the deacon, if you go into that room, there's a chance that the toolbox can spawn there. The last place that I found it, and probably the easiest to miss, is on a little corridor above the ramp before you get to stage 2. Right against the wall, the toolbox can spawn there, and it's the same color as the background, so sometimes you mightn't notice it, but luckily for me I noticed it, so hopefully you didn't miss it there too. I hope that all the information I presented in this guide is able to make this mission easier for you, so that you're able to rank up Kahl and have fun doing a mission. I think it's a fun mission. It can just be tedious at times, so I hope that this helped. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and check out the other videos on my channel.